A warm welcome at our General Assembly of 2021 of the Netherlands Business Council UAE. A warm welcome also to our Consul General, Mr. Hans Sandé. We're very happy that you are joining our Executive Committee here today at this important day of the year where we come together to discuss our strategy for 2021 and this important year of Expo 2020. Unfortunately, this is already our second digital General Assembly, and I would have wished that we could all see you today instead of doing this by the digital highway. So yes, maybe like on the Expo 2020 on the 7th October, we can see you all together face to face again. And today, it's a special day. We're gonna take you on a journey, the journey of 2020. We're gonna look back at our membership strategy. We're gonna look at all our new initiatives that have been implemented. We will have a look back at our events as well as the MBC 2020 awards. Our treasurer, Willem van der Hogen, will take you through the financial review and justification. If you have any questions about this, please don't hesitate to reach out to us during this webinar via the chat or via the question box. During the webinar, we will do our utmost best to also answer your questions or, learn from your advices and insights. Then I will introduce to you the newly proposed Executive Committee of 2021-2022. We will talk about the plans of 2021, as well as the budget and the membership growth, the events and the Expo 2020. And then, of course, we will sit down with you and answer all the questions you might have. So first, we go to our journey of 2020. If we can go to the next slide, we can see some of our key achievements that we have accomplished with the Netherlands Business Council in 2020. First and foremost, we signed the Memorandum of Understanding with our Consulate General of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, Mr. Hans Sandé, and his entire team. Like, I have been involved personally with the Netherlands Business Council already for 6 years in the Executive Committee. And our cooperation with the Consulate General couldn't have been more strong than ever, as that we are signing this MOU last year together. Therefore, I'm very proud that this MOU is now effective, that is actually strengthening the Dutch business community in a whole in a fantastic cooperation between the Netherlands Business Council UAE and the Consul General of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Also, one of our major achievements has been that we were accredited by the NL in Business. We are now, as the Netherlands Business Council UAE, an official NL business hub. I will tell you a little bit later about this and what this has entailed for the council. Of course, we all have also enjoyed now our new digital platform. We did a rebranding, so you can see our colors are new and fresh, and I'm very happy to also take you through our new digital platform a little bit later during this webinar. So let's look at NL in Business and our accreditation. Although this has been a very tough year for many councils all over the world and also in the UAE, the Netherlands Business Council UAE has been able to still grow its organization during this difficult time. This has all to do with also the subsidy and the support we have given by NL in Business to support our operations. Therefore, we were able to hire an office. Unfortunately, we had to leave this office in the beginning of this year, but we enjoyed an office at the Lamborghini building, and we're currently in the process of hiring a new office again. We were also able to expand our team. Now, as you know, the Executive Committee is a voluntary board, and it needs to rely on a very strong and powerful team to do all the tasks that the Netherlands Business Council needs to do. And therefore, we were very happy that we could hire one extra part-time co-worker within the team. Also, due to the subsidy, we could launch the new website, we could invest more in digital, we became part of an international worldwide network of NL and business hubs. We could exchange knowledge, we could learn from each other, we could share success stories, And last but not least, we also could grow in the number of overseas members. So we became, as a council, more relevant for the Dutch businesses that are seeking to export or do business here in the region. Together also with NL in Business, we organized a few webinars and we introduced the virtual gateway. And during the trade mission organized by the Dutch government, we were also able to do the first digital business mixer. So a lot of things have happened this year and a lot of new initiatives have been implemented. And that also takes a lot of pride for me as being the chair of the Netherlands Business Council, that we have been able to do so many things during this COVID-19 to serve our members, to serve you. If we look at the next slide, here we can see that although it was a very challenging year, we still continued to have a healthy membership despite the COVID crisis. Our backbone of our organization are the corporate members that are part of our Netherlands Business Council. We are very proud that in this region we have so many multinationals that are part of the council and support us in a very strong and effective manner. Next to our corporate members, such as all the logos that you see right here, we also have associate members. Associate members are Emirati companies or Emirati free zones that are attached to the Netherlands Business Council and want to expand their business relationships with the Dutch business community. We also have 12 business members, 63 professional members, and as I said before, we are growing our number of overseas members. So we can be proud of having so many members that are supporting us during these difficult times. And also, we are very happy to serve our members to strengthen their business relationships amongst each other and with the UAE authorities here in the region. So, also, we are welcoming a lot of new members. We have to be realistic, and we also have a lot of members that unfortunately had to leave the Netherlands Business Council this year. But we also had a lot of new members joining us. So I'm very happy to present to you that an Akzo Nobel, a Dubai Airport Free Zone, but also 2 business members, 6 professional members, and 14 overseas members have joined our organization in 2020. And as Arnoud and Willem will tell you later on during this webinar, a lot of other new members will follow because we are entering an exciting year. So if we look at the next slide, just a review of the initiative that we have been implementing. First and foremost, the Flex Pool. It's all about connecting. The Netherlands Business Council is all about connecting, but so is the Flex Pool. So one of our new services that we introduced during the last year was a Flex Pool to connect Dutch talent here in the region with our members and making sure that they are able to work in a flexible manner. We implemented also the loyalty program. The loyalty program is to help our members to do more business with each other. Currently, we have 11 members already making use of this program, and we would highly encourage you to also have a look at our digital platform and list one of your programs with the loyalty program, because we are here to support each other, and the Dutch business community is much stronger if we are also loyal to each other. And then, of course, one of my babies, the Dutch Sustainability Group. Like the Dutch Sustainability Group has formed in January 2020 and has now been growing every month towards a sustainable future here in the region. Beware of the great plans that we are unfolding at Expo 2020 as well. So if you look at the next slide, you can also see some of the events that we have been doing. And obviously, all those events you can find on our website, at the digital platform. You have the membership directory, you have the company directories, you can see all the services that the Netherlands Business Council is undertaking. You can list yourself as a Flex Pool member, or you can post a job to find Flex Poolers. You can look at all the working groups that we currently are undertaking, and you can see all the events that we are currently doing. Because these events have been very important during the last few months to also be in contact with each other now that we cannot organize face-to-face events. So if you look at all the webinars that we have been organizing, you can see that it was for us also a very big step to being an organization that was exclusively for physical events to become suddenly an organization that was mainly about virtual online events. It was only a year ago that we had our first digital webinar. It was on the 23rd of March. And since then, the Netherlands Business Council have been able to organize at least 20 more webinars, all in very good cooperation with other business councils, with the Consulate General of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, but we also work together very closely with the Benelux Council and the Embassy of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Lately, we also organized a face-to-face meeting, and we will later on during the webinar with our Director of Events, Anthony Dols, look at a poll whether this is a good idea or not for the future. Some of the events that we can look back at is, of course, food security. Together with the Consulate General of the Netherlands, as well as with the Embassy, as well with the Benelux Council, we had a series of food security events. We organized roundtable discussions with our corporate members to discuss the current situation and to see what challenges everyone was facing and how we could jointly come up with solutions. A very good initiative that I hope that for the future that we will continue to do so, because again, together we are stronger. As you all know, it's one of my favorite sentences in this world, because I strongly believe as Dutch business community, together we are stronger. We also organized our first business mixer ever, like a digital one, to connect the Dutch business community with the Dutch business community here in the UAE, which was very successful. But last but not least, we also had our general monthly webinars about oil and gas, about hospitality, about diversity and inclusion, lots of interesting topics that were important to our members and important to us. So if we look at the next slide, one of our key achievements and milestones of last year was, of course, the Embassy 2020 Awards. This award was purely designed to discuss the opportunities for Dutch innovations to capitalize on the new momentum of Expo 2020. We were super proud that we could award such a wonderful innovations from the Netherlands in the categories Nexus, Water, Energy and Food. Also the theme of the Dutch government at the Expo 2020. We really could celebrate together with our main sponsors, Boskalis, Leaseplan, NL Business and Shell, like all the innovations that the Netherlands had to offer. And together with an expert jury, like we had participants from DIWA, from EY, from the University of Stellenbosch and from DAFSA, who really also celebrated with us the innovations, but also could select the best ones that could enter the Expo 2020. So again, on the 7th of October, we will celebrate again our NBC 2020 award winners, and we will help them to capitalize on the momentum that the Expo 2020 will bring for these innovations. So let's have a look at our financials. Like, it's the favorite part of the webinar, and I'm very happy that I can hand over to Willem, who will run you through the financials of 2020. Willem is our treasurer and director of Expo 2020. The floor is all yours.
Thank you, Stephanie. The favorite part, I thought the beginning was the favorite part, but no, thank you very much. To all the members, I kind of would like to guide you through our financial performance of 2020. The books have recently been audited, and for anyone who would be interested to receive a copy of the audit report, I can send that to you. We will share that among yourselves. If there are any questions on our financials, please feel free to type, since we can't ask it physically, but if you have any questions, I can see it here in my screen. So last year when we did this General Assembly, you know, the great uncertainty about COVID was just hitting the airwaves, and because of that, just before the General Assembly, we already adjusted our budget quite significantly down from collection standpoint, from income standpoint, and expense standpoint as per 2019, since we also knew that people would leave us, unfortunately. And at the same time, we also have a great team that has been working very, very hard to grow with new members and to get new members into the teams. So all in all, if you look at the bottom line, we more or less came to the same net income as what we expected budget-wise. If I guide you through it, the first part is on special event and activation income. This was actually reserved to organize the Embassy 2020 Awards Gala and everything surrounded that. We did receive more income, but part of it I have deferred into 2021, since we still will be organizing a fantastic gala event, and part of the cost I did allocate to 2020. From a membership income perspective, we dropped with 18% as per 2019, but we stayed quite in line with what we did expect. So no big surprises there, and also the team worked hard on all the collections, which definitely were not easy in a year like this. And I also definitely understand that from a company perspective, in a hardship year, it's definitely also not easy. The annual in business subsidy, which next year will be the last part of that we will use in 2020, part of that we will use in 2021. You will hear me on that as well. And yeah, if we look at from an expense standpoint, major change, of course, cost of events. Normally, in a normal year, that would be 70, 80,000. This year it was only 23,000, but we allocated and we budgeted a lot of that in the IT expenses. So our IT budget was also much higher. We revamped our website. So things related to marketing and IT, we allocated more budget to that, which eventually results in a net gain of 61,000. But I do want to mention that net gain in its full is expected to be used next year in 2021. Are there any chance any questions on the P&L? No. Okay, then I would like to go on to show you an overview of our balance sheets. Overall our balance sheets are healthy. We did write off quite a bit of bad debt at the end of the year, which we knew we could not collect. But still, the accounts receivable by the end of 2020 is manageable. We have quite significant reserves, which could more or less let our organization run for a full year, which has been accumulated over the years. You see a deferred income under the liabilities for 89,000. What is from this year, we will move into next year. So roughly the overall, even despite a difficult year, I think the financial strength of the MBC is definitely there, but also partly is due to the subsidy of NL in business, which has made this possible. We as MBC, as a point, in order, if we want to maintain the strength of the organization, it would be good if we could grow our membership base. So that is, I think, an achievement for everybody in our network. If you can try to grow our network amongst other Dutch professionals and business members around it, that would be good for the organization. Yes, that is roughly the points on finance on 2020. In a later stage, I will present our budget for 2021, and then I kindly would like to hand over at this stage to Stephanie, who is going to continue with the presentation.
Thank you very much, Willem, for this clear overview. And it's really good to see that as an organization and as a council that we are currently in a healthy financial situation. Now, on the sheet in front of you, you can see the 2020 Board Executive Committee, officers and organization. Like a big team, we have been very fortunate of the help of many volunteers in the last year to help our organization go through this transformation. We had to say goodbye in an early stage to Jacques Varkenau as our liaison officer, as well as to Paul Epping, who helped tremendously with also the efforts of reaching this new digital platform that the Netherlands Business Council is at. If you look at the team, we were able to expand the team. You see Tanneke Egberts as our executive director, somebody who has been with our organization for more than 7 years already and is also the backbone of our organization. Like, I think today I will announce that everyone is the backbone of our organization. But Tanneke, like from the bottom of my heart, I would also like to thank you for all the hard work you have been doing. Not only last year, but for the 7 years already in a row for our organization. And for us, we are all in the executive committee and we are all on strategy level, but you have to deal with it on a day-to-day matter. And I think that is commendable that you have been driven the team like with enthusiasm and professionalism and taking the Netherlands Business Council to where it is today. And in your team right now, we have Nelleke and Axel. And unfortunately, we had to say goodbye to Ms. Ria van Diemen, who went back to the Netherlands. So currently, we have a vacancy available for another role within the Netherlands Business Council. And we are very, very happy that Nelleke de Heer is now our marketing and communication specialist. So all the beautiful presentations that you will see, all the communications on our social media, it's all being done by Nelleke. And also, thank you, Nelleke, for all the hard work. We know it's a part-time job. It sometimes feels like a full-time job, but like we are very happy that with all the support that you have given us. That leads us to, I don't know if he's here today, but Huub Hendricks. Huub Hendricks has also been with our executive committee for the past 5 years and has been a tremendous help in terms of advising the board in terms of strategy. So on behalf of our entire executive committee, we would like to thank Huub for all the effort that he has placed in the organization. And although he will be here in the region, like soon he will also go back to the Netherlands. Peter van der Linden as our liaison officer, like overseeing the matters with NL and business in the Netherlands. We have Anthony Dols, who has been our director of events for the past few years already. Willem van der Hoog, of course, you already have seen him as our treasurer and director of Expo 2020. And Arnoud Govaert, who has been the director of memberships and external affairs and government affairs. Thank you, Nelleke. So if you look at the newly proposed board, we are going to go ahead with these 5 amazing people that you can see now here in your screen. I'm extremely excited to propose to you these 5 individuals, because I strongly believe that the Netherlands Business Council, UAE, has been going through a transformation and has been professionalizing each and every year. And to hand over to a team that is as experienced and as hands-on in the Dutch business community, it gives me great pleasure and joy. So yes, like it's never easy to say goodbye, and it's never easy to, after being involved 6 years in the Netherlands Business Council, to hand over to somebody else. But if I had to hand over to anyone, then I'm super happy to hand over to this team. If you go to the next slide, you will see who will be our newly, hopefully, appointed chair of the Netherlands Business Council, which is Arnoud Govaert. If you move to the next slide, like I will tell you a little story, because I think it's always important if you do a handover that the members and all the organizations attached to the organization see who the next chair is within the Netherlands Business Council that you hopefully will elect today. Arnoud was already elected as a board member 2 or 3 years ago, when we were so convinced that he would bring this added value to our organization. He has been a businessman in this region for a very, very long time. He has been an honorary consul general in Baku, like not even for the Netherlands, but for the Danish. Like he has a wealth of experience that he brings to the council. He has also been a driving force on the background already for so many months now. So for me, Arnoud, it gives me great pleasure and joy to hand over to you. And I'm sure, like with your experience and this amazing team in front of us, we will have a fantastic year with the Expo 2020 to come. Arnold.
Right, thank you, Stephanie. Thank you. Thank you so much for this very enthusiastic introduction. And as you said, I've been involved in many growth and developments in the background. And I would love to have seen you always there as a chair, but there's a time, as you say, to say goodbye. So that time has come now. I know you've got great things coming to you in your own business, and you've served your 6 years, which is statutory, the maximum term for a chair. And I can only say that it'll be a pair of big shoes to fill for whoever comes after you, because that your exemplary leadership and driving this NBC. I don't know how we will do that and copy that, but we'll do our best. So anyway, let me a few words say about what I was asked to do, which is growth for 2021. So growth, of course, for the NBC, and that is of course easily defined as more members, more revenue, more events, events that we all benefit from. But of course, for you as members, it means growth. What does growth mean? Growth of your business. So how do we do that? How do we do that? As Stephanie says, together we're stronger. We are a platform for connecting, and jointly we are stronger than individually. So if we can provide that platform for you, then of course we are successful as a Netherlands Business Council. There was one business consultant that I recently read an interview with, and he said, to all the businesses that would come to the UAE, he said, join a business council to grow your business network in Dubai. That's my first word of advice to any business that comes. Obviously, it should have read, join the Netherlands Business Council when you come to Dubai, but okay, that's beside the point. So it is extremely important that you as a business member, you can grow your business by being a member of the Netherlands Business Council. Obviously, we have events, we connect you to companies that come in for many trade missions that we expect for the coming year. We'll more about that later with Willem on the Expo. And of course, with the many webinars that Anthony has been presiding and organizing together with the team, where we share information on relevant business topics in the UAE and regionally. So obviously, as the Business Council with a wide array of members and board members and the executive director, Tanneke, who's been, as you said, the heart and soul of the Business Council, we have, of course, a lot of experience, and we'd love to be tapped for that experience. And we generally want to help make introductions to quickly grow your business and your network in the UAE. But that growth that comes from, we offer the platform, the growth, of course, the extra business that you bring, it's of course up to the members themselves to make benefit, to make use of the network. And we provide that platform, and we want you to grow. So we, as a Netherlands Business Council, we want to remain one of the top business councils in the UAE, in Dubai, and to be a business multiplier for you as a member. And obviously that all of us will be successful in the coming years and look at growth in the future. So now I'd like to conclude and say, give the floor back to Willem. Willem is going to talk us on one of the main events that are coming up here in the UAE, which is the Expo 2020, and talk us through some of the opportunities that are there for our members to, to participate and, grow from that. Willem, I'd like to give the floor to you.
Yes, thank you. Yes, definitely. Thank you, Arnoud. And yeah, it's a year later than planned, but nonetheless, with the Expo 2020 coming up, this is probably one of the most interesting years for a networking organization like us from the last 25 years. Since the Expo 2020 is going to come. Nelleke, could you tap one step further to the sheet? Yeah, thank you. So what will we be doing as the embassy? So we put the embassy as our strategy for 2021, as well as for the beginning of 2022. Because what we are going to do is we're going to organize every month a networking event at the Expo 2020 Pavilion. We will choose topics which are in line with the thematic weeks of the Netherlands participation, or Linden Business, or other parties, or the expo itself. We will be also in very, very close participation with the missions that's going to come in, the events organized by the Netherlands Expo. Missions who are going to come, we're going to organize events for doing business in the UAE, so that you can get in touch with those mission participants. We're planning to also use our experience in the whole digital field to organize digital business mixers a few weeks before missions are going to come in, because I've seen the schedule and the planning of what's going to come, and we're going to get many visitors over, and trade missions and companies and organizations to the Expo 2020, and this is a super opportunity for us as business members here in the UAE, but also in the Netherlands, to come to Dubai and to network and to grow your business. So it's going to be our strategy to put you as the members into the most optimal position to network and to do business at Expo 2020, and we are going to make it happen that we will be present, and that if the whole pandemic allows it, that we have fantastic face-to-face events and interactions with businesses and everything associated with that, including governmental here in the region, governmental from the Netherlands, and all the associations connected to it. So this is our bigger plan, and you will see that our resources and our time and event will be fully focused on this. And I hope that with that I could give you a bit of an insight on our strategy. Then I would like to continue into the budget for 2021. Now, as you can see in the budget at the bottom on the right, you see we have a negative budget, which is of course a strange thing, because as a budget normally should balance. But we have taken the decision to use some of our reserves in this year. Part of it is that the subsidy of NLM Business in 2020, half of that we're going to use in 2021, hence also the net result you saw in 2020. But I also we as a board try to make a budget which is realistic, and we hope to get membership income of 300,000 dirhams. We also knew that, and we also expect eventually after that a growth boost. So we still are very much looking for new members to join us. You see the cost of events going back to the expenses what we are normally at, because we also think that in the months November, December, and the months around the expo, we're going to get a lot of our members joining our events, and that's also what we budgeted. In the years to come, to give you a slight outlook into 22, we as an organization do need to make do need to be realistic that the subsidies of NLM Business are going to decrease, and thus hence we need to grow our membership income in order to be sustainable with the expense levels that we are used to. So for 2021, we have a budget which we can take, but going into the following years, we do need to be sharp on that, and I hope that's in some way understandable. Are there any chance any questions on our budget? No, I don't see any. Maybe from the board, anyone has a question, like to know something? Hans, maybe? Okay, then I hope I gave you a bit of an update. Also, these financials, we will share that with you, share this presentation so that you can take a closer look. And you can always send me an email or call me if you have any questions, how we financially are proposing this year, since I'm fully open to share that we as a board. Then I would like to hand over the floor to Toon, who's going to continue on events and going to explain our strategy of the events and our events plan.
Yeah, thank you very much, Willem. If we can go to the next slide. As Stephanie said earlier already, we had experienced last year a major change in the way we operate events, from physical, face-to-face, to virtual. And as a council which main purpose is to connect members and to provide opportunities for networking, that has been a major challenge. Now, our ambition is, of course, to go back to physical events as soon as possible. And as Willem just said, the Expo 2020, we hope, will give us ample opportunity to return to physical events. Willem already mentioned the monthly network events that we want to try to really organize around the pavilion as much as we can and connect to themes that are sort of planned already in that week. But of course, we had many more events in our original schedule, our normal schedule, which were business over breakfast. I'll mention in a few moments one tryout that we did in February. But we also had the behind the scenes. We have inter-business council events. We had business mixers. And of course, we had round tables where we offer either our entrepreneurs or overseas members or service providers the opportunity to connect with each other and sort of talk about business issues that are at hand. So what we expect is that at least for the coming few months, we will continue with virtual online events. And if you look at where we started last year, of course, when the pandemic and all its restrictions hit, there was a lot of uncertainty about rules, what would happen, how do we have to behave, can we have meetings and so forth. So we had a lot of events organized around crisis management, and also with the kind help of the Consulate General, we had sessions where the latest regulations or restrictions in the Netherlands were discussed, and our members could ask questions. I mean, that was very important that in initial stage. Then, of course, the impact of the pandemic and the restrictions, what would that mean to our members, and how could we deal with those matters? That was a big focus at that moment in time. Now, of course, the uncertainty around what will happen in the near future is still there, and of course we will still organize updates when things will change, because I think that's important to our members too. But we're certainly, I think the biggest focus that we will have will be around Expo 2020, as Willem already said. So again, there we cooperate as much as we can closely with the Consulate General and with the embassy to hook on to not only the themes, but also to provide as much as possible information about parties that come to Dubai and with whom our members can connect. Because of course, new businesses establishing themselves in Dubai will require some assistance, maybe initial some information, but maybe later on some assistance in setting up here in Dubai. And we hope to play a big role next to the embassy, next to the Consulate General, in providing, let's say, a private view or assistance to whoever is interested in establishing businesses here. So if you go to the next slide, it sort of reiterates a bit of what I was saying in terms of our focus. I think it's important to sort of address the various issues that our members are facing with, such as, I mean, we're talking here about developments and regulation. There's a lot changing in Dubai regarding establishment of businesses, so we want to focus on that as well. But I think key part, and Stephanie mentioned that in her earlier overview, we now have 34 overseas members. And of course, we want to make sure that particularly in this year of Expo 2020, that we provide every opportunity to those members, and we hope to attract even more overseas members to make sure that they benefit to the maximum of what is going around Expo 2020. And as Arnoud said, we help them to maximize their business. That's really our interest. I think the next slide, I have to give the word back. Oh no, we're doing first a members poll, because as I said earlier, we did one try in the 24th, that was the 24th of February, with the business over breakfast. That was a physical event. I wasn't present myself, but I heard the feedback from various sides, and particularly from Stephanie, who sort of had mixed feelings about it. First of all, the event wasn't properly prepared. So, you know, when we do that, we have to make everybody comfortable that all the rules and regulations are adhered to well, that wasn't particularly the case there. So there was also a bit of confusion, you could say, at the venue. And of course, we also realized that there's still a lot of businesses that are not don't want their employees to attend physical events. So we're just interested. We will test this as the year goes on, and of course, we always open to every information and feedback we get from our members. But we would be interested to sort of do a poll now, what people now feel about physical events. We've been thinking about physical hybrid, where you could attend, but others that don't want to attend can still do it via digital way. So the question is, and we have a poll engine that will now appear on your, I think it will appear on your sheet here. If you could, as a member, indicate now what you would feel about face-to-face events in, let's say, the coming 2-3 months. What is your opinion? You can vote now by selecting one of these 2 white dots, yes or no. Stefan, can you inform when people have voted? Well, as it was almost expected, of course, our core business is face-to-face events. So as I mentioned, as soon as it's practicable, because we have to find the right facilities where we can do it, and of course acceptable from, and that we'll see that in the subscriptions to events when or the take up to when events are being broadcasted. We will go back to face-to-face events as soon as we can. That's our ambition and that's our intention. Thank you very much. I will hand over back to Willem to talk about the gala.
Yes, thank you. So yeah, originally our gala was of course planned yeah, probably around this time 1 year ago, and yeah, we had to postpone it. So but I have some fantastic news. On the 7th of October this year, we will be hosting the Embassy Gala all the way at the beginning of the Expo 2020 in the Dutch Pavilion. It's going to be a grand gala with a reception, seated dinner, night party, everything on it. So you will become among the first to truly experience the Expo Pavilion, the great atmosphere, and everything what it has to offer. There is a small limitation that probably we can only seat up to 120 people within regulatory limits. So it will be on a first come, first serve basis. Of course, everybody involved with the Embassy 2020 awards in the earlier stage, who have already tickets, are of course on our guest lists. And yeah, in the next following weeks, me and Anissa, together with Tanneke, will inform you a bit more. Anissa and I are together with as from the board will take care of this event, and it's going to be spectacular. It's going to be a huge big thing, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing you all in great gala attire at this event, and yeah, hopefully it's going to be one of our big highlights, face to face in the new world or in the old world. How can we see it? And yeah, I very much look forward to it. So yes. And now I have to hand it over to questions. Are there questions from members on what we have presented, or things what you kindly would like to know? Yeah, there is the opportunity. On the right, you see a chat, and you can write a few things. I see hair from Bart Burghaaf, but the rest, not many questions from everybody. Yeah, if I don't see much, you can always at a later stage, if ever is the case, or on the email to us. I know it's a little bit less personal, but we're always there. Here, this is a good question. How about the new office space as you have budgeted only 24,000? Yes, that's a good question. We have so part of this budget is also related to the expenses we have made in the first few months since we left our current office. We are at this moment into negotiations where the office space most likely will become a sort of a barter deal. We cannot say exactly yet what it will close, but that's actually what we are looking into as an organization. So I haven't fully budgeted in yet, since honestly there is not much space to fully budget in an office. We had to make the decision if we as an organization would fully want to budget in an office. That eventually means that we need to scrap it somewhere else. We either need to reduce in our staffing or we need to reduce in our events, and we do not see there is room in order to do that. So we do want to have a place and a location as an MBC, as an office, but we're very much looking into some kind of a partnership. And this is also an outreach to all the members. So if there are good networks with, for example, let's say an office provider or an office organization or a real estate company that's willing to partner up there, then we are very open to look into that. So that is the reason. Did I answer the question well, Hans? Yeah, I see. Thanks. Rita thanks us for a very, very nice presentation. Yeah. Any other questions from the audience? Up here. Gala on first come first served basis. What about the corporate tickets already bought last year? Still valid? Absolutely, they're absolutely valid, Koen. So yeah, you out of my head, you have 1 or 2 tables. I don't know that exactly out of my head, but yeah. So gather your business network. You will be there. And also, we will first do an outreach to everybody who has already bought the tickets. Then Rita asked question, would one of the corporate members provide a couple of rooms to enable your meetings? I find that a difficult question to answer because I do not completely understand what you were trying to what the question exactly is. Maybe you can rephrase it by any chance, or Stephanie, maybe you understand the question.
It could be, well, it could be that Rita suggesting that somebody gives us part-time office space, so that you get
so meaning a part-time office space within a certain company. I cannot answer on that, but that could be possible. I cannot fully say if that's legal or not. Ideally, we're looking at something where it's really a place or shared space legally, because you also have something like how do you call it, an ijari and those kind of things, that we as an organization are legally there. But we're definitely open to that. So if we're open to look into all these options, I do think it's important. We as an embassy, we have a spot where we can meet, where we can network, what is the place, and where our team can work from, where we can store all our documents. So last year we worked at the Lamborghini Towers, and we were very, very happy at that place. It was a very good spot. Unfortunately, that business stopped. They stopped providing shared office space, so we could not continue there. But that was good for the organization. So that's definitely an ambition and achievement what we need to organize. So please feel free to reach out to us, and if you have ideas or suggestions, since it's a problem we got to solve, and we unfortunately do not have the budget to really pay for it one-on-one. I think that's pretty straightforward. Okay. Then I think we close here the Q&A part. Then I would like to ask a vote, approved or unapproved. No. then let me add one more. Add a few more. I see a few more questions. It's not for daily work, but for weekly, monthly meetings. Okay, that's clear. We can discuss this off topic further, Ria. I think that would be nice. Then Salim Rabini, congratulations on new board and many thanks to Stephanie and the former team and content agenda on the excellent work. Salim Rabini, and finally on Bart Burggraaf. No questions, but I'm pretty sure I speak of the majority of the members by saying thanks a lot to Stephanie for leading the embassy with so much determination and courage while trying to build your own business in these exceptionally challenging times. Best of luck to Arnoud and the new team. I think that's where we can close. I think it's a fantastic point. I think where we can close the comments at this stage. If there is later anything, please point it down and I will present it. Then I would like to go over to voting. Would you, as the attendees and as the members of the embassy, approve or unapprove the budget of 2021? And I can look at Stefan, if we can open the poll. I think it's a poll, right? Or it's not a poll? It's a poll, right, Ton? Yeah, it's a poll. And
no, it's not a poll.
Oh, it's not a poll.
No.
Then yeah, then that's a tricky one. Okay, it's not a poll. Then yeah, how are we going to do this?
Chat box.
Sorry?
In the chat box, yes or no?
Approved, yes. Yeah, so if everybody could write approved or unapproved in the chat box, that would be highly appreciated. We are with in the total of 26 people in this group. Yeah, so I give everybody a bit of time to post it in there. Let's not hold up all your time, so you can post it in there and approved or unapproved. I thought it was a poll. Can I go to the next slide, please? Yes, then we have another another vote on the approval or unapproval of the board. Now let me phrase it differently. Who is against both of the proposals? Is there anyone in this group who is against the budget proposal, who is against the board proposal? I think that's the most efficient one, because this is the moment to speak up. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it, since otherwise it's inefficient. Anyone in the chat or in the questions who is against the budget and against the board, or one of the two? Then with this, I consider it approved, both of it. So that's noted. We are going to continue for 2021, and we look forward to help you grow your business as grow ours and grow the embassy all together. And I would like to hand over the board the floor to our Consul General of the Kingdom of the Netherlands and the Northern Emirates and Dutch Commissioner General Expo 2020, Mr. Hans Sandé.
Yeah, thank you a lot, Willem, for your kind words. I must say it's a mixture of pleasure that I say a few words, but also with sadness. The pleasure, of course, because for me it's always a pleasure to address the embassy during its meetings. And we had many in the last couple of years. But also sadness because I see board members leaving. That the pleasure side is that there are also new board members. So let me first of all thank all the board members who leave for the great work they have done during the last couple of years. And of course also wish the new board members, especially of course also Arnoud, lots of success with this job together with your board members, your team members, because it's indeed one team. But I think it's fair that I also address one person, one lady specifically, and that is Stephanie. Because we have back many years. Stephanie, you said your favorite slogan was, "Together we are stronger." I totally agree. That's a very nice one. It's also one of my favorites. There is also a slogan that I like a lot, and that's the old slogan of Philips, making things better. Because you can use it for many examples. I see already Anissa smiling. Because when I think about you, it's always about making things better. The first time that we personally met was in May 2016. A couple of months before we as a family arrived in Dubai. We had to look for schools for our kids, etc. And I had a chance to visit the residence of my predecessor Rob de Leer. And by chance, or perhaps with hindsight, not by chance, there was a big event on the Expo, organized by you and the then board members, making good PR for the Expo and also presenting a report that the embassy, together with the consulate, ordered in defending the business case for Expo. Well, the rest is history. Most of the arguments we used also vis-a-vis our own government in trying to get the Expo approval done, and it all worked out very well. Stephanie, I must say we had many events together, breakfast meetings, lunch meetings, virtual, not virtual. But I think everybody agrees with me that when people think about you, they admire your enormous enthusiasm. From the early morning till the late evening, I would say. And well, for those who are a little bit younger, in the past we had those Duracell battery of that buddy that kept on playing and doing things. You are like that. You're always passionate about what you're doing. And also, I think that's the third element, very creative. Because I think, dear colleagues, dear friends, it's fair to say that many initiatives of the last couple of years, Stephanie, and the thoughts of Stephanie, the mind of Stephanie was behind it. Indeed, many of those initiatives passed the floor this afternoon. The NL in Business, the cooperation with NL in Business, will enable you indeed to be one of the official regional business hubs. I think also the Flex Pool and the loyalty plan are part of that. The sustainability group, very, very important. Stephanie, it was your enthusiasm together with some corporates that made it all work. Also the differentiation when it comes to memberships. The overseas memberships, things like that, were very dear to your heart. And with what you did, you were always very persistent, but in a very, well, I would say, harmonious and happy manner. By the way, happiness, that's also one of the things that you tell time and again, and indeed you are, for me, Mrs. Happiness here in Dubai. But also persistent, because time and again I try to explain, Stephanie, well, an NBC award, a gala in COVID times, complicated. A New Year's reception at our residence, and I wish to welcome you all, but not possible, Stephanie. Till the very last moment, she tried to push me again in a very positive way, saying, "Oh, it should be possible," etc. And that's also one of the things that I find striking for you. Persistence, but in a very, very positive and constructive manner. I will definitely miss you personally, because as most of you know, I will leave Dubai in this summer. So unlike many of you, I don't have the pleasure, at least in an official capacity, to see the Expo. I will wish you for all the good work that we have done together. Indeed, that's the embodiment of that was indeed the memorandum of understanding we signed. It's typical, you were in the Lamborghini building, and as I understood it correctly, you will come back. Well, for you, for me at least, Stephanie, you were the Lamborghini of the last couple of years of the Netherlands Business Council. I appreciate our cooperation, and well, it's not really time for me to say farewell yet, because we will try to organize at least a physical event, perhaps in a very small configuration. We'll see, we'll work that out. But thank you so much for all the good work you have done for the Netherlands, together with your many other capacities here in Dubai and beyond. Thank you so much for the good cooperation, being inspirational for me, the team members. And again, my words of thanks are also on behalf of Ambassador Lodi Empress and his team, and by definition also on behalf of my colleagues at the consulate. So, shukran, Habibi, and we'll stay in touch for sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Hans. Thank you, Hans, for these very, very warm and kind words. Like I really feel honored that you are saying that I'm the Lamborghini of the Netherlands Business Council. I'm sure I'm gonna miss you all dearly, and I don't think that there are any other words needed. Thank you so much for these kind words.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah, Stephanie, then I also want to say a few words on behalf of the whole board. Look, this is not your goodbye, but it is the professional goodbye in some way. You joined me, you joined the board 1 year before I did, so in some essence, we've been working together already for quite a while, and definitely by miles, you're the greatest chair I've ever worked with. So I'm really happy and glad, and I think you've really professionalized the organization a lot. If you see where we started and throughout the time where eventually the embassy is now, you made a great achievement to the embassy. Not always been easy, but you definitely did. I started working with you when you were very much busy on the Expo 2020 lobby, and you pulled it off. You pulled off all these companies together to chip in, to write this big report, and to go into Holland to lobby, say, guys, we got to be part of it. And Holland was one of the first organizations to be part of it. Holland did made a significant budget available for this grandiose event was going to come, and you are to thank for that. You've been the Kickstarter in part of this. So absolute fantastic achievement, and going onwards into all the events we've organized, the Dutch Sustainability Group, what you set up, and of course the whole participation with NLM Business. I think the whole list of achievements you have made are too numerous to mention, and for that and all of that, I would like to say thank you. And we look forward in the years to come to get your advice as a super successful Dutch businesswoman here in the Gulf and far beyond that around the world. So thank you, and we love to stay in touch with everything.
Well, thank you very much, Willem. Like I'm very bad in goodbyes and in receiving compliments, but this is overwhelming. So thank you a lot, and it was a pleasure to working with all of you to serve as a chair, as a director of Expo 2020. It was so many adventures that we embarked upon. I think being the Bunny Duracell of the Netherlands Business Council, as Hans just described it, is fantastic. Like. Yes, it was also very much a happy journey, and I'm super proud to see where you guys are at today. And I'm sure like I will be very much involved in the nearby future. I will not leave the Dutch Sustainability Group as of yet. So like I will be very close to the Netherlands Business Council, and thank you very, very much for all your kind words today. And like, thank you for being wonderful colleagues to work together with. And thank you, Hans, for our fantastic cooperation as well.
Okay, then I have one more formality. We just went into the voting of the budget and the board. I do see that the IT team just has been able to create an official poll, and I would like to launch that poll just as a better to have it official. So I'm now going to launch the poll whether we approve the budget of 2021 or we do not approve the budget, since then it's also duly noted. Oh, I'm sorry for that. I wanted to press the button, but I unfortunately closed it. Stefan, can you launch it again, please?
We see the poll now, so it's okay.
Oh, you see the poll. Okay. You do?
But it says uncertain.
Yeah, maybe we can do it again, or maybe we can go to the board. Stefan, can you open the poll for the board, please? What happened, Tanneke? I actually pressed on the button too soon. So collecting responses for the board, to the vote of the board. And I think we're waiting for a few more votes to come in. It's fairly simple, yes or no, approved or not approved. Yes, thank you. Now it's officially approved. Yes, thank you very much, everybody, for the commitment of us and the trust for us as a group. And would like to have your approval on the budget for 2021. Menno raised their hand, and let's see. Can I give the word to Menno? Not sure how I do that. Okay, the budget for 2021 is approved. Tanneke, can I give? You mentioned Menno raised the hand. Can I by any chance put the microphone to Menno? Is it possible? Menno Douwes-Dekker, if you would like to have that. Yes, I think you're on.
Hello. Yeah, well, I did just raised my hand to approve as your suggestion. So no other comments. Congratulations, I would say, with all the approvals. And Stephanie, thanks for all the years. And well, we'll see you around for sure. That's it.
Okay, great. Thank you, Menno. Can I see the next slide, please? I think. Nelleke, I think that's it. Then, yeah, over to you, Arnoud. You want to close it? I think you have to put your.
Thank you, Willem. Thank you. I didn't know there was still a closing word, but thank you so much once more, everybody from the team. Stephanie, first of all, to you once more. I think everybody has already said, you know, a lot of characteristics of you, but I can only confirm your shining star and radiant heart of the NBC. We'll miss you dearly, that's for sure. But as we hope that you will be in the sustainability group, you'll be always somehow connected to the Netherlands Business Council, I'm sure, because your heart and passion is there where we are. And so I'm confident of your support in the future too. So thank you very much. And as I said, it will be big shoes to fill and we'll do our best, of course, with our team. I think we have a very good, strong team with a lot of seasoned players in the team that have proven their merits. We also have new team members. Then Peter and Nissa, they will also join the board with fresh energy and fresh insights. So, and with Anthony, Director of Events, Willem, the Treasurer, I think, you know, it's a great team, and we'll be confident that we'll be continuing the line, Stephanie, that you have put the NBC on, the line of growth, the path of growth, and of course with the support of the Consulate General. Hans, also to you, extremely appreciated how much always you've supported the Netherlands Business Council, and your colleagues also in the Consulate General, not to forget, always very, very constructive, putting the MOUs together, putting the interests of the Netherlands Business Council at the level where you can. So really very much appreciated. I think we have a great year ahead of us, positive year, growth, as we said, the focus of growth, new events, face-to-face, very important, because that's what we want. And we look forward to seeing you, everybody, on the first face-to-face event. And hopefully, as Willem said, it's going to be a denderend gala, a great gala. So, and we'll look really forward to that. So, because I think that's what it's all about, to celebrate. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Stephanie, once more. I think we close it here. Thank you all for attending, and wish you all the best. Stephanie, wish you all the best to members. Okay, thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot, Arnaud. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.